everybody know something about? Let's see. Last group picked Alabama football. All right. Okay. 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 Well, actually, because there's some differences in opinions, that works. All right. Here's what happens. Count yourselves off 1 through 3. So somebody do 1, somebody 2, somebody 3. All right. The one person. If you're number 1, stop. If you are 1, you are. When I say go, I want you to start talking about Alabama football. What happened? And the person who's number 2, randomly while they're talking, you start clapping. And when you clap, that person has to pause until you stop clapping and start talking. Every time you clap, and then it'll go around. Everybody has a chance to clap on everybody else. Right? Understand? If you understand those instructions, say right. Right. If you need me to repeat them, say one more time. Wait, what happened? The first person, who's number 1, will start talking to the group about Alabama football. The person that's number 2 will clap randomly while number 1 is talking. When that person claps, the number 1 person is to stop talking, and then start once the clapping stops, and then we'll go around. And I'll tell everybody to switch places. Yeah. Okay. All right. So on the count of 3, the number 1s talk about the topic at hand. 1, 2, 3, go. Number 2 person is now the speaker, and the number 3 person is now the clapper. Go! All right, stop. Stop. All right. Your number 3 person is now your talker, and your number 1 person is the clapper. Go. This is what this exercise was used to teach. Notice that every time you clap, that person had to stop. And listening was at 0. You weren't listening to that person. And the person really couldn't say all they wanted to say. How many of us have ever interrupted someone talking to us because we thought they were going to say something, and they needed to finish, and you went off on, no, that's not what I was going to say. We automatically think, well, they started off that way, and I know where they're trying to go, so I'm gonna nip that in the bud, right? So what happens? We don't take the time to listen. In this culture, Americans, we like to talk. We like to get our 10 cents, 12 cents, and whole dollars worth in. Right. We want our conversations is like you talk, and somewhere in the middle it gets garbled. That's when we go, would you say that again? Oh yeah, all of it. It's all. And one part of my family, I don't know how anybody gets any information because they talking this loud, everybody, right? And all at the same time, right? When I used to run a leadership camp in Alaska, the Native Alaskan students was always challenging to talk to them because their culture was they talk, they listen, and as the word this morning was used, digest, response. That drove me crazy. Because I wasn't used to all that. We could have 3 conversations in that time in between. Say something. They were listening, engaged. I can tell you that there was very rarely an opportunity for somebody to be misunderstood because they listened. And then they were able to ask questions because when they were talking amongst themselves, the other person understood. You're trying to digest what I've said. I'm waiting for your question or your comment based upon what I just said. I will wait here patiently in this conversation. When we had the Native Alaskan students and the students that weren't Native Alaskan having conversation, it was funny because American kids, well, these are American kids. What? And they were four conversations away. The kid was kind of like, I agree. You know, that's how I said that. So we need to listen. In order to deal with difficult people, in order to try to understand where the other person's coming from the other side of the desk, we have to be able to listen to them. And it's hard sometimes to listen because they set us off. We want to react. So let's sit back down. Let's continue.